What's going on, guys? This is Tyzera here again, and today I'm bringing you some kill confirmed gameplay on the map Fallen using the M4A1 with thermal sight. My perks are sleight of hand, hardline and steady aim. My kill streaks are the UAV, predator missile, attack helicopter, and my final score is 42 to 13. So my overall KD isn't really that great, but it was a choice between this gameplay or the M4 thermal on Arcaden where my final score was 33 to 4, but I camped a little bit more in that one, so I figured I'd show you this gameplay instead. Anyway, on to what you're probably all thinking right now. Why the hell am I using the thermal sight? Well, I'm going to go ahead and tell you that right now. The thermal sight on Modern Warfare 3 is amazing. If you're used to the Modern Warfare 2 thermal sight and you think that this is going to be crap just like that one, think again. The thermal sight on this game is fantastic. It has almost zero recoil, and I'm not even using the kick proficiency. I think I'm running focus this game. So the other day my friend Harry was using the P90 thermal and he was telling me that it was freaking amazing and he was pulling some really good games. He was getting loads of 40 kill plus games with a 4 to 5 KD. It was absolutely ridiculous. He also used the M4A1 with thermal as well from time to time, so I figured, well, since I'm at the end of my 3rd prestige and I'm about to go into 4th, I might as well just use the M4A1 until it's gold and use thermal with it. So that's exactly what I did, and I now have a gold M4A1 with thermal sight. Although in this game I only have autumn with it. But anyway, you'll also notice that I'm running the MP9 silence as secondary, which is by far my favourite secondary in the game. Right from the beginning I used to use the Akimbo FMG9s because they were just simply amazing, and T Martin and Woody's Gamertag both recommended them very highly. But then my friend Marcus introduced me to the MP9 and said that it was fantastic with silencer. And I decided to go with him on that one because he had pulled off several Osprey gunners using the MP9 as a primary weapon and his ACR as a secondary. There were several games when he would start off with his ACR red dot sight and suppressor, and then just switch out to the MP9 and use that as his primary, switching to the ACR for those long range gunfights. But anyway, as you saw there, even when your enemies have assassin on, you can still pick them out clearly from the background and beast them with the thermal sight like I did there. However, it won't prevent your teammates from killing the enemy you're about to get in your predator missile like my teammate did there. But anyway, right here I was contemplating whether I should try and play defensive to try and get my helicopter, or whether I should go out and play aggressively for it. But because I've been trying to teach myself to play more aggressively recently, I decided I'd try and go out through that middle and come through this little tunnel here, and get this guy in the back, luckily, because as I was right, I thought there was someone around here. But that kind of brings me on to a topic that I want to talk about. Oh, look at this tactical insertion fail right here. Look at that. Look at how silly that was. I had just fired an unsilenced weapon down the stairs from where he was. Why did he bother putting his tactical insertion down there and then trying to escape from it? Some people just have no basic knowledge whatsoever. But anyway, back to what I was going to talk about. Recently, I've been trying to teach myself to play more aggressively, mainly because of the Modern Warfare 3 spawn system, which is just awful, but also because playing defensive is just a lot harder in this game, and I'm having a lot more fun playing aggressively. Now, granted, I do get some silly deaths like that one because I play aggressive, but overall, I'm having a lot more fun playing aggressively, especially when I kill people at close range using an M4A1 with thermal sight like this guy right here. However, when I'm playing aggressively, I do sometimes find it quite difficult to get myself to stop playing aggressive when I'm getting close to a kill streak, like the AC-130 or the Reaper. So that's why recently I've been using the UAV, the Predator missile and the attack helicopter setup a lot, because it's just such a solid kill streak setup and it just works so well together. Especially since the attack helicopter has had such a big boost in this game, it really does make it worth using. And especially because killstreak setups reset in the same life on this game, I find that a lot of the time, when I get my second attack helicopter, my first one has either just left or it's just about to leave, which allows me to keep this constant stream of attack helicopters flooding in the map, and not only does it get me kills, but it also prevents the enemies from calling in any air support they might have in waiting too. To cut a long story short, the UAV, Predator missile and attack helicopter is a solid killstreak setup to run, and it won't let you down. Now, contrary to what I said a minute ago, you don't want to get into close range gunfights with a thermal assault rifle. It's not terrible, and with steady aim you can usually hold your own ground with it. But I would strongly advise not getting into those close range gunfights, because you're most likely going to lose them. However, this does not mean that you have to get into long range engagements with snipers and Type 95 noobs. A lot of the time, I find that getting into medium range engagements is the best way to go about using thermal. So far, the M4A1 is the only assault rifle that I've used thermal for. But because it's a nice, average, all-round assault rifle, I feel that I can use it to compare to other assault rifles to see how they would behave with thermal. So, for example, the M4A1 has a 30 round magazine, which pretty much all the assault rifles do. It also has a 780 round per minute rate of fire, which is on the higher side, but is around average for the assault rifles. Now, where the M4 differs to the other assault rifles is that it takes more bullets to kill at long range. So normally an assault rifle will take 3 shots to kill at close range and 4 at long range. However, the M4A1 takes 5 to kill at long range. And although the M4 doesn't have much recoil to begin with, the thermal scope reduces it massively. So here's what I'm thinking. If an M4 is as good as it is with thermal, then what would weapons like the ACR and CM901 be like with thermal? Because the ACR has much less recoil and the CM901 deals much more damage. So surely they would be perfect candidates for the thermal sight. Now this is what I'm going to test out soon, but at the minute I'm aiming for Prestige 5 and I'm currently level 68 Prestige 4. So unfortunately for you guys, I won't be able to make any videos about the thermal CM901 or ACR until I'm Prestige 5 and I actually have the thermal sights for them. Now if you go back about 5 or 6 seconds, you can clearly see how little recoil the M4A1 has with the thermal sight, even when I'm firing fully auto at long range. Since there is 3 minutes left of the gameplay and I've already finished talking about everything I wanted to talk about, I'm going to quickly find something that I can talk about and come back to you guys as soon as possible. Oh, and yes, I did just get put into final stand. I'm not going to try and brush it off, I'm not a perfect player and sometimes these things just happen. Alright, now that I've been talking about weapons and attachments this video, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the maps now. Now, a lot of you have probably heard these tips before, but I'm going to go ahead and repeat them anyway because they're really important and you should know them. So what you want to do on any map, regardless of what game type you're playing, is find a high point that has lots of sight lines to different parts of the map. Because, for whatever reason, in Call of Duty, being higher up than your enemy will give you the advantage. That's why positions like Campers Rock on Jungle on Black Ops and the rooftops on Favela in Modern Warfare 2 were so popular, because you would have an advantage over your enemies. Oh, I'm just going to go ahead and interrupt myself here. Watch this beautiful triple kill with the thermal. I just thought that was so well executed. The way that my sight just kind of swapped between the 3 of them and that focus helped me stay on target even though I was taking damage. I just thought that was really well done. But like I was saying earlier, regardless of what map you play, you always want to look for a high vantage point that has lots of different sight lines to different parts of the map. And when I play Fallen, I immediately think of that spot where I was just then. But I have no idea what to call it though, because I've never heard anyone call it out on a video. So for now, it shall remain nameless. But regardless of what it's called, you have a nice line of sight to the C flag, the B flag, the tunnel from C to B, either side of the garages behind B flag, the middle park area of the map, and enemies coming from A going around the tall sniper building which is just to the right of me here. It also has 2 very strange brick structures up there which I'm not quite sure what to refer to them as, but they can provide you some very nice cover. This is why, in my opinion, it is the best spot to control on this map regardless of what game type you're playing. Now if you're mainly a domination player like I am, then I would normally advise you to take B every time and then capture A or C depending on which one allows you to control the spawns better, i.e. which one allows you to spawn trap the enemy. However, on Fallen, I would advise the opposite of this. I would advise that you take both the A and C flags. And just to give you a better understanding of this, I'm going to go over why you want to leave them with B and not A or C. The main reason you don't want to leave them at C flag is because they'll spawn just to the right of this enemy here, behind that brick wall, and they can very easily head glitch behind that wall, or the various cars that are around, and kill you. They can also exit their spawn via the other side of the brick wall, and if you don't kill them in the time it takes them to get from their spawn to the middle tunnel, they can easily get to B and take it off of your hands, which you don't want. If you leave them at A flag, then they can very easily spawn in that back junkyard, or this area where I just spawned here, and they can very easily get into that tall building to the left of me there, and especially if they have sniper rifles, they can kill you very quickly. If you leave them at B flag, however, they will continue to spawn in the garages to the right of me here, and regardless of whether they leave via the right, left or middle, you will have a very clear sightline from your rooftop position, and you will be able to kill them over and over again very quickly and easily, which is ultimately what you want. But anyway guys, that's the game. 42 and 13, not the best KD, but I used the M4A1 thermal and I thought it was a pretty enjoyable video, and I thought I gave you a lot of good tips. So please like the video if you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Peace out.